Good morning, guys. It is Kelly and Crystal, and we're here for another amazing week of Learn to Blog content that's free every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time here on Google+. We come to you with a new topic. You can find a listing of all of the Hangouts that we've done over the last year and a half. You can find them at learntoblog.hangouts.com. Go to the New Start Here tab, and it will list out all of the Hangouts in order by date. So I'm Crystal, Dallas mom blogger at crystalandcump.com, where I write about mommy resources and mommy solutions. And about 6 years ago, I started a blog, had some issues with getting my content found and really understanding the ropes of blogging, and made a friendship with the amazing Kelli B. Miller. And from there, she mentored me. We've grown together. And then from there, we decided that we wanted to start these Hangouts where we could help people and pay it forward. So that's how this was created and how our friendship was created. And so that's why we're here each week. And today we're going to talk about PicMonkey. But before we do that, Miss Kelli, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, it's Kelly at threeboysandadog.com and learntobloghangouts.com. So I blog about homeschooling and homemaking tips for busy folks. I've been blogging since November 2006. So that's put me, almost 8 years?
Oh.
I don't know. I can't add. Math is not my thing. Language is my thing. So somebody else figure it out. Tell me how long I've been blogging. So yeah, like Crystal said, we've had a friendship for a while, and we've decided to kind of go in together to start paying it forward and teaching people how to blog. And just recently, like 4 days ago, we launched our Learn to Blog Hangouts.com/VIP forum to help you get a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more information about growing your blog for only $7.99 a month. So, what's better? Netflix for entertainment or growing your blog to make enough money to afford both?
Kelly's so funny. It's true. Yeah, we launched this forum, which was a goal of ours that became a goal about a year ago. And we just said, we've got the videos. And then about 3 or 4 months ago, we started a Facebook group, which we'll share the link over on the event page for the Facebook group, which is just another way for people to keep in touch with us and for us to help them when the Hangouts aren't on air, because we're only on air once a week for an hour. So we really have this amazing, loyal group of people that believe in us and believe in our methods and believe in what we're doing. And they just show up every week, you guys. Y'all show up and you're interacting with us over on the Facebook. And then this forum is the biggest extension of it all. So the forum is a way for to really grow. It's actionable methods to help you grow your site and take it to the next level. And it's for every season of blogger. For the brand new blogger, when we started the Facebook group, we realized that there's a lot of people that were joining the Facebook group who don't even have blogs, because we are Learn to Blog. So since they had this idea of wanting to someday start a blog, they're joining the Facebook group. So we're realizing there's people who need the very basic fundamental information, like starting, and then intermediate, seasoned, and all of that content's going to be covered over on the forum. So there's a free version, and then there is the paid version. The paid version is what you're going to want because it goes into the most, it gives you, that's where you get your actionable tasks and all of your help and stuff. So anyway, today we're going to talk about PicMonkey. And PicMonkey is what I use to edit my photos. Before PicMonkey, there was a program that was out, or I guess it's really an application, that was out by Google called Picnic. And if you've been blogging for a while, you'll remember that. And it went away. And whenever they gave like a few month notice and said, this is going away, and bloggers were like, oh my word, what are we going to do? Well, this PicMonkey was created, and it's like the layout, the fonts, the formatting, everything is the same. So it's a program that a lot of people use to edit their pictures for their blog. And that's part of having good, crisp images is something that's very important to make and create pin-worthy images, images that do well on Facebook, just to have a clean magazine quality site, if that's your goal. So, Kelly, tell us what you use for editing your pictures.
I use a conglomeration of things. I use Microsoft, what is this thing called? I don't know, Microsoft something, which is a free program. And then I'll also use Photoshop.
Mm-hmm.
And I use, to put the words and all on it, I use Publisher. So I have kind of a system.
You use Publisher to actually put your fonts on?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Okay, so if you will keep an eye on the event page, guys.
So it's Microsoft Office Picture Manager. That's kind of my first step. If I can't do everything that I want to do in it, then I'll move over to Photoshop. But for the most part, just that free little thing helps me set my white balance, crisp it up, crop it to where it needs to be, all of that good stuff. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, if you will keep an eye on the event page for me so that as questions come in,
Yep.
The reason why I kind of, to me, PicMonkey is something that I thought everybody used. And Michelle McKinley, who has the blog craftymorning.com, she guest posted on my site last week, and we had a side conversation, and she said, y'all really should do a hangout on PicMonkey. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, we really should, because there are, there's very basic things you can learn about it, and there are more advanced things that you can do with it too. So I thought that it would be a good hangout to have, and we may get through this very quickly. I'm just going to show you how I utilize the program on a daily basis. And we'll take some raw images. I don't shoot in RAW, but we'll take what I consider raw images and that are unedited and pop them in here and play with them, and I'll show you some of the great things that you can do. So PicMonkey has a free version. There are aspects, so PicMonkey is PicMonkey.com, and this is what it looks like. And they have a free version. It just doesn't give you everything. It probably gives you access to 75% of the site, but there's additional fonts and additional editing tools that you get whenever you are a Royal member. And to be a Royal member is like $4.99 a month. Seriously, it's something that there's just, to me, there's no, if you do not have an editing program, this is a great place to start, and it's so user-friendly. So I'm just going to show you how you can pull in pictures from your computer, from Dropbox, from Facebook, or from Flickr. I always just have all of my stuff on my computer. So we're going to, let's see, let's go in here and pull up some pictures. I'm going to find a recent project that I did. Oh, goodness.
While you're doing that, Brain Power Boy says, loving the new VIP forum. I've already learned several new things that are going to make a difference for me, and it's only been a few days.
Awesome.
I watched a couple of the exclusive videos, which were great. Thanks for doing this. I know it's a lot of work, but it's so very helpful.
Awesome. Sorry, I guess I moved all my pictures. This is my the story of my life. Kelly, do you want to do you want to talk a little bit about the videos that we have been putting over on the forum? We've got some quick videos that we've been doing over there while I'm pulling all this stuff up.
So we did one that shows you how to open your Facebook page. And why and all that good stuff. And we did one that shows you how to use affiliate links for extra money. And we did one that shows you step-by-step how to use Brainstorm It, which is for SEO. What else have we done, Crystal?
Did you already say affiliate links? Yes.
I did. Yep.
Yeah. And I just published a thread today asking for video ideas. So you tell us what you want, and we are so happy to, as long as it's something that we can share, we will. We're very, very happy to do that. Okay, so here is, I'm going to walk you through the very basic things that are standard for any image that before it goes on my site. So I pull it in, and I always start with my pin-worthy, like the image that is going to be my first image, which is going to be the one that hopefully gets the most pins. So I like for that image to be, it does need to be twice as tall as it is wide, so it needs to be a portrait image opposed to a landscape image. And I mean, this stuff is sitting still, and I take pictures of the same thing 100 times. So, but that's just my lack in experience, probably, with, you know, everything I know I've pretty much learned myself. We took an online class that was photography stuff, which was full of amazing information, but I just never sat down and worked through it and applied it, and that's my own fault. So, and at some point I will, it's just a matter of time. But so here's an image. Understand that if you pull in something that, so basically what I do, these are scrapbook pages, scrapbook paper pages, and I got that idea from Kelli. She was doing it, and she had been telling me about it, and I'm like, not interested, because I kept thinking it's going to get crinkled, it's going to get stuff on it, how do you keep it clean, how do you, you know, how's it really going to look like, how do you do that? So finally, about 6 months ago, I went and bought a bunch of scrapbook paper, and voila, I'm in love with it. So I just have a stack of, you know, I don't have as much scrapbook paper as you, Kelli. I try to keep it to a minimum, but I'm always looking for the things that look like wood grain, or that, you know, look like something that's a picnic table that I've set stuff on. So literally, for years, my best lighting, you need to find the best lighting in your house when you're taking your pictures. For years, that's been at my kitchen table, but I don't know what's going on. Just in the last year, I don't know if the trees around our house have grown or what it is, but there's so much shade now that I don't get good pictures there. So I have found myself taking it out to our sidewalk, and I'm out there laying on the sidewalk, taking pictures, looking like a fool. People are driving by looking at me like, what is she doing? And then the kids have to help me up because I can't get up. But anyway, so here's one of the pictures. I'm serious, Kelli. I am like so.
Oh my God, Crystal, I'm not laughing at you. So
What?
you have your tabs open?
Yeah.
And so Amber Simmons says, oh my God, Crystal, your unread email is out of control.
Oh, yeah. It's bad. It's bad. Okay, let me just tell you, you are right.
Sorry.
I have nothing to say other than you're right. It is ridiculous, and I say out of control all the time. It is out of control. I know this. It's a problem, and someday I'll get therapy for it.
My name is Crystal.
My name is Crystal, and I have a horrible email problem. Yeah.
Virgo Family Home says make sure to check your software that comes with your DSLR camera. I love the software that came with my Nikon, and it works great. Mitzi says Royal is easily worth it. Cindy says it's only $33 for the year if you pay up front. And Carol Ann says that she loves the Royal version. It's so worth it. So there you go.
Okay, you know, I knew that when it was PicMonkey, yeah, when it was Picnic, there was an option for a year, but I didn't realize that PicMonkey had a year, because, yeah, that's like half a year free if you do it that way. $33, that's awesome. Okay, so this is not my best image, but it's the one that I pulled up. So the very first thing that I do is I immediately go in. If I need to do any rotating, like if I need to straighten it up a little bit, I do that right here under rotate, just to kind of get my lines straightened up a bit. And I try to use these the grid lines there to help me get it all straightened up and maybe line it up somewhat with the lines on the fake picnic table that's there. And then you just hit apply. And then the next thing that I do, well, if I need to crop, I do that too. So sometimes my Facebook paper, or my scrap paper is hanging off. I know, I can't say anything right. So if I need to adjust that, you know, I've got that option too. This one's good, so I'm not going to worry about it. Then the very next thing that I do is my exposure. So I play with it. I do the auto exposure. I like that. Good job. But then I'll also undo it and then play with it to see if I like the way I do it better. And then I end up usually going back to the auto adjust and then kind of doing a little bit of brightness added to it too, because I'm also going to saturate it. So then I go into colors, and this is another one that I'll do an auto adjust, but typically I don't like the way that it looks because it makes it really blue. So here it is if we do it manually, and we actually hit this neutral picker. Kelli gave me a great tidbit about 6 months ago, and she said, always have something white in your picture, even if you are going to edit it or crop it out, because you want to have that white thing that you can click on to do your white balance. So under the colors section, that's where we're kind of playing with the white balance. So I'll just kind of hit some of these different white areas and see which one I like better. And then I also saturate it, and then I'll hit save once I'm happy with it. Okay. So literally, like, this in the background is just my sidewalk. There's something on the sidewalk back there. I don't know what it is, probably a couple of leaves. But this is literally how I take my pictures. So then the next thing that I do is I go into this little magic wand, and you can change, you can click all of these to change your effects. So I hardly ever do any of these. And honestly, I feel like all of these elements kind of really take the evergreen look away from the picture a lot of times, because it kind of dates it, where we see that it's those are tones that we were using heavily, 2 years ago in blogging or whatnot. Does that make sense? But you'll see here, if you see this little crown, that means that it is a royal option. So that means that I wouldn't have this option if I wasn't paying the $4.99 or the annual fee for the program. So some of this stuff, the majority, like out of all of these top ones, only 2 of them are royal options. So you'll see how, oops, so I just applied that and didn't mean to. It's very easy to just back up and go back out. But the one of these the option here that I do use on every picture is I burst it. So it just adds even that much more, and sometimes I play with the vibrance to see how I want it to be, and then click apply and we're good. Now sometimes I'll use some of these cool things like a lens flare, and you can move it around and play with it. I've done this in a couple of my pictures, like when we took our kids to the beach, and it's just little things. But I try not to get overdone with all this stuff, because it really, yeah, like, see, some of it's just crazy. But you can add that bokeh or whatever it's called to pictures. This is not a picture that I would add this to, but it is, it is fun. You can play around with it and see what kind of images you want to add it on. You can soften your focus, so you can figure out where you want so say you want the focus to be just on this, then you put your cursor on that, and then you can change the focal size if you want, so that it's just on this area. You can make the edge hardness, so change it to where it's even more blurry in the background, or more prominent there. You can make it fade in and out. How intense do you want the blur to be? You can kind of control all of that here. But I really don't do any of that. You can pixelate. So say that you have somebody in your picture that's like from your kid's school, and you don't have permission to use their picture. You can come in, or like say you've taken a picture of a car and it has their license plate or something. I mean, you just never know what you're blogging about. But if that's the case, then you can just put that pixelation on it, and then you can't read what's there. There's a lot of really interesting options in here. There's an option to draw, so if you want to, and all of these options are probably in the same stuff that you use too, right, Kelli?
Kind of. So it's not quite as laid out, but yeah.
So say I wanted to write my name on here.
That was awful.
I know. So, you've got all these options to really just, there's a lot of things that you can play around with, and it's super, and just don't apply it and it goes away. Or if you apply it and didn't mean to, just go back and undo it. But there are There are so many options, and it's so user-friendly. Now, say that I wanted to get rid of this back here. What I can do is I can go in here and clone. This is a pain. Like, this is something, I don't have a lot of time to sit and do this, so this kind of thing really doesn't get done. But if it needed to, which really this back here doesn't bother me, but if it did, or like, say, you know, I've got a picture and my kids have drawn all over their arms, and I want to maybe take some of the drawing stuff off their arms because they draw on themselves all the time, and if their arm's in the picture, I may or may not want that published on my site. So cloning really is a cool thing. So you come in here and you click clone, and then you find a spot that you want to duplicate, and then you come in here and just start easily removing all of this. And then you can kind of get rid of that leaf that's in the background or the drawing on your child's arm or what have you. Now, but you got to be careful because, see, you start to kind of get, you just want to make sure your colors all line up. You don't want it to be obvious. And if I accidentally move down here and go too far, then I start drawing a new cup. You see what I'm saying here? So anyway, say I don't like that, I cancel, no worries. But that option is there too. Now, then we come in here to the,
hang on, we have some stuff going on. Hold.
Yeah.
Amanda
So
says,
basic, but I mean, this is what I do, and this is how I use it.
Amanda says, I adore PicMonkey. I have Photoshop, but I could do a lot of things a lot faster with PicMonkey. Frugal Family Home says, I'm so glad I'm not the only one out front of my house taking pictures of food and other stuff. Amber says, great tip on the white balance. I need to start doing that. Yeah, because if you don't have white in your picture, then how do you know when your colors are balanced to the color they're supposed to be? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's something I actually learned at Craft. When I went to one of the Craft conferences that I was invited to, they had a one of their food photographers there, so one of the ones that does all the pictures of the food for Craft, and they said that they keep a little piece of white paper just in the corner of their picture, and then they edit all their colors and things, and then they just crop it out. Very smart.
Yeah, that is smart, and you shared that with me back at Christmas time. So of course I'm like, get online and screen share with me and show me what this stuff means. What do you mean balance your colors? What are you talking about? I honestly, for years, the only option that I used was just bursting the colors, and I never really
realized how yellow they were.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Everybody's telling me how smart I am, and then Frugal Family Home says, what lens do you use the most when you're taking your photos?
Me? I'll have to go get my camera. I don't, I'll get my camera in a minute, or maybe my husband can bring it to me. I honestly can't tell you. I'm not really savvy at all about my computer. I mean, about my camera. What I have learned is simply from trying it and doing it. I hated the lens that I had. Mine's an older DSLR. And then finally, about 6 months ago, I bought a new lens. Waited for it to go on massive sale on Amazon. I'm just cheap. I'm so cheap. I don't want to spend a lot of money. And I didn't even know for sure if the lens was going to work on my camera. I showed it to Kelly. She's like, yeah, probably so. It came in and it worked. And
that was a 50 millimeter, right?
Yeah, I think so. If you can talk for a second, I can go get it.
So I have 3 different lenses. I have a long one that I use when I am doing dance recitals, when I'm doing football games, baseball games, whatever. It's not like super massive, but it's a little bit longer. So I do that one, but I don't like to do it for other things because you have to be very, very stable or it gives a jerky photo. And then I have my 50 millimeter. I use it mostly for really small things. So when I take pictures of my jewelry, which you haven't seen online yet, but they will be soon, I use it. If I really want that blur or whatever in the background like Crystal has here, then I use it. But my main one is kind of in the middle of both of those. It expands, and I don't remember what it is. It's like a 30 to 55 or so. I don't know what it is. Crystal, what is it?
So you have the same one that I have?
That main one, just kind of the one that comes with all of it.
I know we're talking about lenses, but let me just tell you how old this thing is. This is the EOS 10D, and it's probably 10 years old. And like the thing down here for the battery is broken and I have tape over it. Like seriously, we are cheap, 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 cheap. Okay, so my lens is a 50 mm, so 50 millimeter. Yeah, and it's really small.
It doesn't zoom, doesn't.
Yeah, it does not zoom, but it is one of the most, I am told it's one of the most versatile, powerful versatile lenses that you can, as far as being able to get good images, like always being able to count on it to give you good images. Not versatility for lots of functionality because there's no zoom or anything like that, but just it's a go-to lens. Is kind of what Gina from Klein, what is her site? Kleinworth.com, I think.
Right.
She offers a really awesome photography class. So, yeah, I think this was like, I mean, you can get it for like $90.
Well, that's what I was supposed to say. I think I paid like $75, $85 for it.
Yeah, I think on average you can get it for $90 or something, $99. And then I think it goes on sale sometimes. So before this, I used a really long, what is it, a 72, I don't know, it was really, really long, 72 by 180 or something, I don't even know. And it just was not, it was not giving me the clean, clear, crisp pictures that I wanted inside my house. What were you going to say?
Yeah, this one right here, this lens that Crystal's showing, it lets in more light. You can go up higher to let in even more light to slow that shutter speed down and let all that light in. So it's a really good one for, yeah, like Crystal said, inside your house.
Right. Right, and it does really good outside. And I'll tell you, who turned me on to this lens was this particular lens. The original person that told me about it was Chrissy from the Taylor House. She uses it. She does some beautiful photography on her site.
She doesn't edit any of them.
Yeah, she shoots right out of camera and puts it, or she used to. I guess she still does. But the way, like if you look at her pictures, everything behind it is blurred, and then the main thing is focused, and that's kind of how that one picture that I just had up is, and you're getting that from here, and you're just shooting it, you know, there's no adjusting this, you just shoot it, and that's how they come out. So anyway, let me put this back on my camera. Okay, so
Carolyn says her favorite filter is the wrinkle remover. She said we had a blast with that the other day, making us look 10 years younger.
And you can make yourselves look skinnier too. I'll have to see if I can find a picture well, we can play with it with the picture that I have. Okay, so let's go back into this. And
Heather from New House, New Home says she hasn't tried the clone feature, but she definitely will because she's always dealing with electrical outlets.
Oh, yeah, and getting them out of the way. I used to use the clone feature a lot because I just wasn't good at thinking in advance and thinking about how something was going to look. And then whenever I would take my picture, I'm like, oh, wow, I need to remove that, or that showed up and I didn't think it would, or whatever.
Huh, yeah. Speaking of, you think your house is clean? Take a picture of it.
Yeah.
All that stuff that you don't even notice anymore because it's been sitting there for 25 years. You take a picture of it, and you're like, oh, gosh, I really need to clean up that bookshelf.
Right. That's funny. Okay, so then one of the options, what she was talking about, this is a touch-up option. So you can fix blemishes. You can airbrush. There's a wrinkle remover, like she was saying. You can do a shine reducer. If you get the red eyes, there's a way to take out the red eye remover. I have used this. I can't show you in this picture, but you can draw in eyebrows and mascara. I don't go there with any of that. That's just a little much for me. Now I do, if I have a picture of someone, I brighten their teeth, and this is an awesome feature. So if I have a person, I will make sure that their teeth are white, like one of my kids or me or whatever. And then there used to be one that made you skinny. Oh, weight loss. Here it is. So, okay, did you see how it just did that? So let me go back. See how it pulls it in? It just kind of, and yeah, we can go to extreme here and see. It just kind of condenses and pulls everything into the middle. Now, I obviously wouldn't do it on
And
this.
there's nip tuck. What does nip tuck do?
Well, it allows you to go in, and I would have to have a person's picture in here, but you know, you're able to go in, I guess, and just kind of do some, you can change the strength and the brush size and just go in and probably work around. I guess it's just a one-up from the wrinkle stuff, being able to go in and, but some of this stuff, I'll tell you, I've gone in and played, like when Matthew was little, and taking some of his baby pictures and making his lips a little pinker and making his cheeks a little pinker. And some of it just gets a little overboard. You can change your eye color. You can do a lot of stuff. But what happens is, I've done that. Like, I've gone into one of Matthew's baby pictures and changed the eye to make it a little more, instead of a dark blue, make it like a, you know, a prettier clear sky blue or something. But then what happens is, when you over edit the pictures of the people that are always going to be on your site, like your children, your husband, or what have you, or yourself, when people meet you in person, they're like, okay, yeah, you don't look anything like that. So I really try to steer away from some of that, and just, I will do the teeth, I will try to make myself look a little bit skinnier, removing wrinkles, great, removing the red eye, but really this option here for the touch-up or makeup stuff, because I'm taking pictures of things and not people, I really don't even get into this anymore, because there's just not, it just doesn't meet my needs for my still stuff that I'm taking a picture of. But if anybody has any questions in this area, or you want to see something, I'll try to show you.
I mean, you know, come on. Wrinkles? I get rid of wrinkles. Crystal, do you use wrinkle stuff on the Hangout?
No. Like,
okay, so this is me. Look, click on me. Make me big real quick, because I want to show you.
Click on me. Show me. I'm kidding.
You're screen sharing. Okay.
Okay.
So in the Hangouts, you have these little options too. I know, I'm so sidetracked, and I look like I don't have makeup on. Anyway, so this is me. I use this little feature in the Hangout called Smooth. So look, did you see all the wrinkles that just came to my forehead? Did you see that?
Oh my goodness, Kelly, you look 25.
Thank you.
Do that. Okay, now hold on. I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a minute. Tell me where you did it.
Okay, so if you hover over your face, there's like a little wand that pops up.
Okay, original.
Okay, click it and slide down to smooth.
I've never done it. So this is what I look like with smooth skin.
Look how pretty.
Something with my hair, huh?
So pretty. Sorry, y'all. Totally sidetracked. So if you have a video, you just need to do it on Google Plus so you can go ahead and smooth yourself out. You don't have to worry about it.
I see that little original wand thing. Had never paid attention to it even being there. That is hilarious.
I'm so sidetracked today, y'all.
We can add mustaches to ourselves if we want.
Do all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Carol Ann says she's enrolled at photoclasses.com courses, and she's been very happy with it so far. Mitzi wants to know if we have the link. I'm going to see if I can find it while Crystal is going back through all of her.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys. Let's go back to this. So now this is a new feature from PicMonkey. Again, anything that has this little royal crown here, that means that it's part of the royal options. So, and they're always adding new stuff. So they'll add, 10 new fonts at a time, and they'll be free. I love it. I mean, there's so many font options, but the ones that have the little crown are for the paid version only. But you've got all of these awesome font options in here, and then like some of them, these.
I like Dead Hardy.
Huh?
I liked Dead Hardy.
All of these, yeah, all of these are kind of the Halloween kind, and I'll show you in a minute. They have themes for different seasons and stuff. But
That name, but I like it.
okay, so for me, mycrystalandcomp.com. So you just click on the font that you want, and then every time I put my website on a picture, I always use this Gothic, or however you say it, and I always make it white unless it's absolutely necessary for it to not be white, and then I will change it to like a super light gray or something. But for some reason, I'm very inclined to my Crystal and Co being up in the right corner. I don't know why. That's just how I do it. But I may move it in a minute once I, so also it pulls in, if you click yours, these are all of the things that are installed on your computer. Now for me, I have, huh?
I did not know that.
Yeah. For me, I have a ton, this is my laptop. I don't use this computer for my day-to-day blogging. On my actual desktop, I have tons of fonts that I've installed from, let me find it, it's Kevin and Amanda's P's for Fonts, I think. Let me check. So go here, this is by kevinandamanda.com, and you can download any of these fonts. So say this is a font that I want to use, click on it, and download, and then waiting. She has tons of great fonts on here. And she just takes people's handwriting. You can submit your handwriting and they'll put it into a font. And then I'm going to open it and install it. And then it'll take about 24 hours. I think the last time I did it, it took about 2 days, probably 48 hours. But once all of that, so then it'll start showing up in your yours area. So on my other computer, my desktop that I normally use, I have tons of fonts that I've downloaded, and they all get integrated here. So give it, like I said, 24 to 48 hours, but one of the next times that you log in, they'll automatically be there. So it just gives you more font options as well, and I love that. So I am very partial to, you know, there are certain fonts that I love. Like anytime I'm doing school stuff, I tend to always use this font. I love it. I love it in lowercase only. I do not like it with the capital letter. I just don't. But I think for this particular picture, what I did was, actually I think it's, you know what, it may not be on this computer. It may be just on my other computer. But, you know, just figure out how you want. I really like the clean, crisp. I play around sometimes and I get a little crazy with my fonts, but so then you can just come in here and make it whatever color you want to make it. I don't like that, so let's play around with it and see what looks better. Do we have some questions, Kelly?
No.
I like this. This is a real, like, I don't know. Some stuff just looks more magazine quality to me than other stuff. Like if I'm really wanting something that just stands out font-wise, I want to keep it clean and crisp as much as possible. Okay, so I will probably just stick with no. And it holds your last 5 up here that you've, or the last 10 that you've used. So then I can just make it bigger. You can really totally play with it. And also, so say that I want to make this like I did for the dyed pasta. You can go in here and just individually change, like say you want to do rainbow colors, have one blue, have one red, like for a fun preschool thing or something. You know, you can go in here and change this stuff like that too. Change your mind, don't like it, just hit back. And then, you know, whatever you're going to put here for your font. Sometimes I pull this down here. But this main image, the first image sets the tone for me for the rest of my blog post, and really kind of, I do my pictures before I even start writing my content. So when I am working with a sponsor and I have to provide content for approval, for draft approval, before I even do my pictures, that's hard for me because my pictures really help me tell my story, and my pictures inspire what I'm going to say a lot of times. So just play with it and, you know, go in and sometimes I'll add another line. So let's see, like say I want to say all natural, something like that. Whoops. And then I do a color, and then I typically am boring and just stick a gray in there. But I'll just, I just kind of play with it. I try to see where does it look best. Does it look best centered? Just kind of play around with it. All right, so then the other thing that you can do is, then there's overlays that you can add in. So say that I wanted to, I used to do this a lot, say that I wanted this verbiage here to kind of be on an overlay. So you can have a shape in here, change the color of it. Usually I do like a gray, and then I make it a screen so that it's, let's see, so that means I got to change this color a little bit. Kelly, am I totally boring you?
No.
Okay, we got to change this color too. They've just recently changed this where you have 2 colors that you have to change here. Okay, so this is kind of how, how you'll see somebody and they've got the circle and it's kind of see-through but not. This is how they do that. I used to do it a lot with straight lines, or I do it with circles sometimes too. But now what happens is when you add your text, if you put it over your text, it's going to kind of mute it out a little bit. So what you have to do, because you created this first before this will always be on top. Like this color will always look underneath. So if you want for the color to be bright still and be on top of the that you made, yes, am I doing it wrong?
Yeah. If you right-click on your text, you can bring it forward.
Are you sure?
Right click.
I didn't know that. Good for you. Bring it forward. You are right. Holy cow. Bring to front. That's what. Yeah, there we go. So now it's okay. Kelly Miller, very good job.
And I don't use PicMonkey, but it says right there, right-click overlay for more options. And so I would imagine that that it should bring it forward, because all other photo editing things allow you to sit backwards or bring forward. So I
know on Publish On you can do it, but they make it obvious. They make the instructions obvious.
They say bring to front.
Yeah.
Send backwards.
Well, it says in Publisher, it's like it's an option that's outlined at the top so that you can. I always just recopied it and put it in there. I never. Where did you see? Oh, right-click overlay for more options. Yeah, very good. Okay, so homemade diaper remedy is brought to the front. All natural is not. It's left to the back. But this is just to kind of give you an idea. For this particular picture, I ended up not even wanting this, but that's how you do it if it is something that you want to do. Okay, so there's other overlay options, like you can add sunglasses. Some of this stuff just gets a little silly. Just keep it crisp and clean if at all possible. I do like this one. This is something that I'll use, and I'll put my text on top.
Cindy said it too. Just right click and bring it forward.
Good job. You love that, don't you?
I like when I'm smart.
Yeah, you do. Okay. You can add, there's all kinds of fun little things that you can add in here. You can add tape. And just bring it over and, put it in here if that's something that you want to do. Just go in and play with it. You're not going to break anything. In the fall time, maybe you want to add some leaves. Just don't go overboard with any of it. Okay. So then another option is you can make your edges rounded. You can add frames in there, but honestly, I do not do any of this stuff anymore. I used to, but it just really, really dates your image.
I always frame mine. Always.
Do you?
Always frame it. Always, 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 always. I just like the way it looks. I like the more scrapbooky. In fact, in my scrapbooks, all of my pictures have mats, and that's what I consider that frame as a mat.
Mm-hmm. I used to do it a lot, and now that my site, the main page, has it pulls in the image.
Right.
It messes it up. It totally messes it up. And to me, because I used to use it and I don't use it anymore, it just dates it for me. But you can do these shape cutouts, which are kind of cool too. And I imagine you can, you can just move it around. I don't really do any of this stuff. It's just a little much for me. But some of it can be cute. You can change the colors and the the background. Some people do some really creative. I personally don't want to spend hours and hours and hours editing my content. So
editing your pictures.
Huh?
Editing your pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you can, there's lots of different. This one is kind of cute. It puts the little edge, like you've used those scissors with the different shapes and stuff. Okay, so all of those options are there too. And then this right here is just basic themes that are, so all of this is back to school stuff. So you've got like banners that you can add on. Again, I used to do a lot more of this, but I've gotten away from it. So say this is something that you want to put on there, you can do that. Or there's more stuff, there's more of the shape stuff here. So you can add in, make it look like a chalkboard in the background or whatever. There's different notes that you can tag on. So if you're doing a post and, like if you're doing some printables, I've heard people say that they use PicMonkey for some of their printable stuff. So this is all stuff that you can do too. There's the dotted lines and the dashed lines. There's also little, like here, little school supplies. So say you're doing a roundup post that has, and you're making a collage and you want to add in some little things. These are cute. It's not for this post going to be appropriate, but this is where people are getting this, getting those little icons that they pull into their pictures. And it's the same thing for, so there's...
Gonna back up one more time.
Oh, yeah. So there's winter, there's Christmas, there's celebrate, which is kind of like birthday stuff. So you can add party hats. It can be cute. Just don't go overboard with it. But there's lots of cute little things that you can add in here. What else?
Brain Power Boy says, I did hear that it's harder for people to crop out your site name if you use frames. This is true, but they can just crop off the whole frame.
This is all things Halloween, basically. So, you can add in, there's just lots of cute little stuff in here. Okay, now, another thing that I do is here on the overlay area. Sometimes I do this. So you can add your own. So I'll click your own, and then it should pull up, yeah, it'll pull up my, let's see where I saved this. I think I saved it here.
Yeah, we don't see your open windows, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. So I have my logo for Crystal & Co. And so if it fits, if it works, if I can work it in where it doesn't look weird, I'll put it in there. And then sometimes I'll take this off so that I don't have duplicated stuff. Sometimes I leave it on. It just depends on how it flows for me. But you can, that's how people add their logo as well. So you go into the overlay section and then click your own, and then it will take you to all of your stuff. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you guys is how people are making the collage pictures. So, and then you just save this and you're good to go. I don't want to save it. So go into collage and start pulling in your pictures. So I did a frog roundup post. So I've got some frog pictures here, and I'm going to pull all of these in so that I can kind of make a collage with it. And so it pulled in all those pictures. These are pictures that I have permission to, I did a shout or a call for posts. People said that I could use one of their images to make a collage and share it on my site. So I tend to really stick with, sometimes I do these square ones, and those can be fun, but they're not twice as tall as they are wide. So I tend to usually go to this Pinterest one here and do this. This is kind of my default one. You can alter it a little bit. You can take away some of the squares. You can make the squares smaller or bigger. You can play with it the way that you want to. But I just start adding in my pictures, and I don't want that to show, so I push that up. I think this is actually exactly how I did this particular collage. And if you noticed here when we were, if we just kind of go here in an empty space, it'll let us add another picture in. This is not what I would truly I'm just playing and showing you guys. But you just add it all in there, and then I'm going to put this in here. And then you can save it. And then once I save it, I can go out of here and go back into edit and pull it up. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And now I can add my logo to it. I can add an area to have, you know, something like this where I can put text or whatever, say I want to cover that up. And you see what I'm saying? So now you can add text on top of here so that you can label it, preschool frog craft ideas or whatever. I do this kind of thing. That's how I edit my collages whenever I'm doing those for Roundup posts. That's exactly how the method that I use for doing that. And I tend to kind of stick to, I have my style. I have, not that it's the style that anybody else wants, but I'm just saying I have kind of my security areas that I stick to when I'm editing pictures, and that's just kind of, so some of my pictures kind of get the same tone across the board. But, you know, typically when I'm doing a Roundup, and I want a Pinterest worthy collage, this is the collage format that I stick to, and that's just kind of how I do it. Are there any new questions, Kelli, or anything that you want to add to it?
No, ma'am.
No new questions. It really is such an easy program to use. Like, it is the most friendly, user-friendly program that's out there. I love it. It's just an easy default for me to use. All right, so if we don't have any questions or anything, we're done.
Okay, so quick reminder, on Friday, at what time, Crystal?
I believe it's at 7 o'clock, right? 7 p.m.?
Was it 7? Or is
I
it
don't
8?
have my notes in front of me. It's either
8.
7.
Isn't it?
I don't have my notes in front of me.
Right up. Okay, so check the learntoblog.hangouts.com site in the next couple days or so, and we will have the post up there. But on Friday, I think it's 8. I think it's 8 Central p.m. We are having a Twitter party, and it's going to be preparing your site for fall, right?
5 ways to get your site ready for fall.
And we're going to be giving away some VIP memberships and some site critiques. So you need to be there. Hashtag #LearnToBlog. Follow us on Twitter if you want, so that you can find out exactly when it is. And be sure and check the learntoblog.hangouts.com site.
Well, and what we're going to be sharing with you is they are real actionable tasks that you can do to get you ready for fall. It's not just, let's talk about, you know, content ideas, or maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that for fall. We are actually sharing, we're breaking it down into 5 categories, and we're going to tell you exactly what you need to be doing to get ready for fall, you know, how to utilize Webmaster Tools to figure this out, how to utilize trend things, and it'll be a good one. So you will walk away applying what we share, and you'll be ready to go for fall. So you won't have to rely on Target for your editorial calendar.
And it's kind of a sneak peek into what we're doing with our bloggy challenges and different things inside of the VIP forum. So if we haven't convinced you yet that you need to join the forum, the paid version, the $7.99 a month, then hopefully we will convince you by the time the Twitter party is over. And we'll give you something to do to improve your site. So, win-win.
Fully so. Okay, no.
Nothing.
All right. Well, I'm so glad. Thank you, Carol. Carol Ann, is that how you say your name? For your positive feedback. I know PicMonkey, it's just so simple to use. There's nothing really.
So Miami Mommy Savings says you don't have to go back up and do all that, resave it and all that. You could have just clicked on the edit in the collage area, and it takes you to the editing area of PicMonkey.
Okay. Well, just a tidbit for everyone. If there is a longer route home, I take it. So I typically do things the hardest way possible to get the same result. But that's how I use it. So, so I will look for that. But anyway, thank you guys. Thanks so much. And I hope that it was something that at least you get a sneak peek at what PicMonkey looks like, in case you have a lot of friends that use it and you just weren't sure if it was worth your time and money. If nothing else, go in there and play with the free version. And yeah, pretty easy. Okay, guys. All right. We will see you next week. I have no clue what we're talking about. Between now and then, we'll see you over on the forum. And
On Friday.
See you Friday for the Twitter party. Yep. It'll be good. It'll be really good. All right. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.